Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we will move down to agenda item 4A, which is approval of the regular council meeting agenda for March 9th, 2026, and there is an amendment, so I will ask for the approval with that amendment.
I will make a motion that we approve the amended meeting agenda for March 9th, 2026.
And second.
All right, it's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to agenda item 5A is approval of the regular council meeting minutes from February 23rd, 2026. If there are no noted changes in that, I will ask for approval as is.
Make a motion to approve the February 23rd meeting minutes.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to 5B is approval of the special council meeting minutes from February 28th, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll move down to the next agenda item, which is 8A, and this is a public hearing, second reading and adoption of Ordinance 536 to rezone parcel 0351251-04100 from TN2 Transitional Residential Neighborhood District to PUD Planned Unit Development District. And Parker, do you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
council should be familiar with this, as this is the second reading, but for anyone in the audience or watching at home that might not be, Woda Cooper has approached the city of Allegan with interest in in purchasing this property just off of Low Street, that's highlighted in teal there on the screen, with interest in building a 3-story, 52-unit apartment complex that would have 1 to 2 bedroom units throughout the structure on just over a 2-acre parcel, and then this would be available for folks who make 30 to 80% of the median income of the area. This project, combined with the development on Delano Street by Allen Edwin Homes, would bring over 90 new units to the city of Allegan for folks to live in, which is really great considering the housing crisis that we're currently in this county and throughout the state. So,
All right, thank you. Before I open it up for a public hearing, is there any questions for staff from council? All right, seeing none. At 6:04, I will open up the floor for public hearing on this agenda item. If you have any comments on this, please approach the podium and state your name and address. All right, I am not seeing anyone rushing to the podium on this agenda item, so I will close the public hearing. All right, council, can I get a motion to adopt?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 536.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any further council discussion, comments, questions? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to 8B is a public hearing and adoption of Resolution 26.08 regarding a Michigan State Housing Development Authority Community Development Block Grant to create 10 new apartments to downtown Allegan. And
keeping with
Parker?
the theme of adding new places to live in the city of Allegan, we applied for and received a letter of intent for funding in the amount of about $1.18 million in Community Development Block Grant funding, or CDBG funding, from the MISHDA program from the state to create 10 new second-floor apartments in downtown Allegan at the properties that you see on the screen. Those include 116 Locust Street, I should note these photos I grabbed from Google Maps, so they may appear a bit outdated, as Board and Brush that's pictured there is now Lacey's Nail Studio, and then the property next to that is Empower Her. 115 Locust, which was the former pharmacy building, still vacant. 138 Hubbard Street, formerly Martin Reed's office, now vacant. And 145 Brady Street, which will be opening at the end of the month as Salvage Sisters. It's a new retail space opening there, but has some opportunity for apartments above. Each of these buildings will have 2 new apartments above it. That 116 Locust Street is kind of 2 buildings, so we'll have 4 total, but 2 above each business, if you will. And then each with some low to moderate income availability for folks as well.
All right, and Parker, the public hearing, we don't have to have a second reading, this is just a
That's
public
correct.
hearing? Okay, all right. Was there any questions for staff on this agenda item? All right, so at 6:06, I will open the floor for public hearing. Again, if you have any comments on this agenda item, please approach the podium and state your name and address. All right, I see no one coming forward, so I will go ahead and close the public hearing. All right, council, could I get a motion to adopt Resolution 26.08?
Motion to adopt resolution 26.08.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further comments or from council before we vote? No? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Moving down to agenda item number 9 is our first public comment section of the evening. This is for anything that is not on the agenda. And when I open up the public comment, please approach the podium and state your name and address. Whoever wants to go first, if you have something.
Good evening, Council. My name's Lisa Evans. I am the Executive Director of Community Action of Allegan County. I'm here today in advocacy for a hot home delivered meal daily and a daily wellness check on homebound seniors. I'd like you to imagine something with me for just a minute. You lived a long life, you raised a family, you worked hard, you contributed to your community, but now the world moves faster. Your body moves slower, and the faces you see every day are fewer and farther between. You need help, not just for the groceries or doctor visits, but feeling seen, valued, and safe. What I've passed around, handed to the clerk, is an FAQ on our home delivered meals program that we have been running in Allegan County for 20 years. Serving homebound seniors. I've also passed around a resolution that I'm asking this council for the opportunity to come back and present a little bit more about. And I would hope and ask after that presentation that you would vote to pass a resolution for the reinstatement of daily hot home delivered meals and daily wellness checks on our seniors. 8% of Allegan County seniors are living in poverty. Another 43% are living asset limited, income constrained. They have many challenges, not the least of which is dementia, eye issues, dexterity problems, difficulty standing. We need to lay eyes on our seniors every day. I can't tell you the number of times over the many years that we've had this program, that we found seniors in the snow, disoriented in their home, where we had to call the ambulance, and we've saved lives. So I know I don't have a lot of time here, but I just want to move forward and put this forward for council's consideration. Seniors, now more than ever, I mean, they say 70 is the new 60, 80 is the new 70, and so on. We're all living longer. And eventually, we're all going to need help if we want to stay in our homes as independently as we can. The mission of community action is to serve, advocate, and engage the entire community on issues of low-income individuals and families and help them achieve self-reliance. What could be more germane to that issue than helping our homebound seniors stay as long as they possibly can in their home? So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward, hopefully, to an opportunity to come back and talk more about this very important issue in the future. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment?
Good evening, everyone. Scott Beltman, County Commissioner. A couple things I wanted to bring you up to speed on. Back in January, we passed our Parks and Rec Plan, 5-year Parks and Rec Plan for the county. We did that, part of the beauty of passing a Parks and Rec Plan, as you well know, because you have one, that we can apply for grants. One of the plans was to apply for a grant for West Side Park to fix the stairs going down to West Side Park. We had no idea what the cost would be. So we had an engineer take a look at that, what that would cost. We knew there was a grant eligible, that we could get $300,000 or $400,000 from a grant to do that. We figured that would be more than enough to fix that access to the lake. As it turns out, it was a $700,000 project to make it ADA compliant for West Side Park. So, based on that, we, as a Board of Commissioners, decided it would be very disingenuous of us to apply for that grant, knowing full well, at least for myself, I was not gonna vote to stick another $300,000 of taxpayers' money to have access to the lake. There already is stairs down there. It's not ADA compliant, but at least you can get down there. So until we get a better plan or a better grant, we're not gonna do anything with that West Side stairs. And then secondly, I just wanted to address the home delivered meals very briefly. 2 boards have looked at that, and we decided to switch vendors. And we switched vendors to a frozen meal delivery. It is in the contract. They're still gonna do the wellness checks. I mean, we certainly wanna take care of our seniors. They're not gonna be forgotten about. I think change is hard, but I think it's a change for the best, and it's a change moving forward. Like was just stated, the wellness checks I think are important. I guess I had no idea that we weren't doing wellness checks on like Saturdays and Sundays and holidays. And maybe we can take some of this money that we saved by using this new vendor to have better access and have those better checks every day. You know, not just when it's convenient, but every day. So I know this is not a time to debate that, and I'm sure you're gonna have questions, or people in the audience or residents are gonna have questions. My phone is always on. I'd be happy to meet with anybody, or over the phone or email, to answer any questions that you may have in regards to that and our position on that. But thank you for your time.
Any other public comment tonight? And we do have a second public comment, so if something comes up as you sit here through the night, you do have a second opportunity. All right, I will move on to item number 10A, which is a request from the K'Zoo Folklife Organization to place a banner on the south-facing fence along Monroe Street at Jaycee Park. And you all should have a memo in front of you.
Yes, this was the amendment to tonight's agenda. Organizers of the event that's hosted by the K'Zoo Folklife Organization stopped by City Hall today with a request to advertise their event with a banner placed along the fence at Jaycee Park that faces Monroe Street. This is for an event that they are having on March 28th at the Performing Arts Center at the Allegan High School. So we felt it appropriate to amend tonight's agenda and get the request in front of you, considering your next meeting is that same week of the event. We want to allow them time to advertise it. So the banner would go up this week and come down after the event's conclusion that day.
And I know Mayor Pro Tem Hance and we were talking, and they've always been very good at taking it down as soon as the event is over. Yeah, they maintain it very well, so Was there any questions for staff on this one? No? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the placement of a banner?
Yeah, make a motion to place a banner at Jaycee Park for K'Zoo Folklife.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion amongst council? No, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving down to the next agenda item, which is 11A1, and a review of the March 2026 Airport Advisory Board meeting minutes in Mayor Pro Tem Hance.
All right, so we had our meeting last week. We reviewed a couple things, the poppy lights installation, the baffles, they've been installed, but they still need to be surveyed before we can turn them on. The surveying of the soil underneath the runway, because there's a plan in the capital improvement plan to do a runway rehab, and we have to do that survey of the soil underlying it. So that was done. And the hangar door rehab is probably not happening this year because of where the money could be coming from. We just can't swing it. And then we discussed the fly-in coming up on June 20th that we're trying to put together with a Lions Club breakfast out there as well and a car show. So we're still working through it, but it is planned to happen on June 20th in the morning there. So we also welcomed a new board member on, what was his, trying to think, a new board member, and he actually keeps his hot air balloon actually out at the airport. So if you see a hot air balloon being inflated out there and going on, that's one of our new hangar tenants that actually also does balloon rides and things like that. So if you see it out there, don't think anything odd. That was about it.
All right. Anyone have any questions? No? All right, thank you. Moving down to 11C1 is a request to, I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. No. A request to approve PO 26-0847 to Waste Recovery Systems in the amount of $260,000 to clean the WRRF digesters and septage storage tanks. That was a lot.
It is a lot. As you see, there is a lot of sediment in that basin as well. Yes, we're requesting City Council approve purchase order PO 260847 to Waste Recovery Systems in the amount of $257,063 to clean the WRRF digesters and septic storage tanks. So the last time these were fully cleaned was 2018. This should be something we are doing at least every other year. If these tanks go out of service, the wastewater plant shuts down. So this is kind of a required maintenance. Myself and Jim Grice, the wastewater plant manager, and Todd Heckman, the maintenance manager, are working on plans for doing at least the digesters in-house, hopefully, if we can get the equipment. From here on, the septic storage tanks will have to be done by a contractor. These pictures, you can just kind of see the buildup we have. This is the digesters on the left. Those little round things are aerators. We put air into the septage to kind of mix things up, and then we shut the air off and decant water off, and then we can haul out the solids that are able to be pumped. Now, on the right, okay, here, yeah, you're on the right, that's the septage tank, but on the next two pictures as well as the septage mixing tank, you see all the quote-unquote flushable wipes stuck to the left-hand picture there. Please don't flush those. They are not flushable. But you can also see the sediment built up in the septic mixing tank on the right. The one on the left is somewhat cleaned and pumped out, but we don't have the manpower or equipment to clean these out ourselves. It's a small opening. We need very specialized equipment. That's the last picture, correct? Yeah, okay. Any questions?
It's not like sand and grit, that's just all solids, right? Or, because we separate sand and grit, or we're supposed to, when at the ingesting.
So this is septage. This is the stuff that comes from people's septic tanks, your porta-johns, et cetera. So it's somewhat separated. We separate the large plastics. The small sand and grit does fall through from the septic system, so.
Zach, I know I don't think you were in the position last year when the okay. 2026, it says the budget for 2026, $80,000 was budgeted.
Yes.
So I would think that came from prior
That was the
experience.
last time they were cleaned, right, in 2018. From that time, the tipping fees for the dumpsters have increased severely, and that's what we're seeing the cost increase is just those tipping fees, pretty much.
I was just gonna say, and I asked the same question, and my understanding is that you've been kind of stockpiling from year to year, so we're not gonna take a huge hit because it went up. You have the money in your funds, right?
Yes, correct. It just comes out of our asset and maintenance and replacement line item.
So going forward, are you going to do it, you said it maybe every other year, or are you going to rotate something every year? What's the best way to keep it so that we don't?
So we drain these down as much as we can, fairly regularly, usually a couple times a month, so we can kind of judge how much sediment is built up, specifically on the digesters. The septage is a little more difficult because it's underground, it's not lit. We gotta try and keep that stuff mixing usually. The digesters, the plan in the future is to buy possibly an elevator and a mini track skid steer to kind of do that on our own, and that should save us considerable money.
Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve PO 26-0847?
I'll make a motion to approve that purchase order.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other comments by council? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. 11C2 is a receive an update regarding the Marshall Street water main break that occurred on February 18th, 2026.
Yeah, real quick before Zach jumps into it, I know at our last council meeting, Joel kind of walked us through a timeline of events up to that point. That Monday that we met was the Monday after the break occurred, so there was still work that was being done and being finalized. Since that council meeting, this group has met to debrief the event. So Zach is here to kind of go over what we kind of already talked about, just to reiterate what kind of occurred and then what happened after that council meeting as well. So in addition to Zach, he's got a few members of his crew here in the audience, Dakota and Jim and Chad and Brian and Charlie over there, all took time to come and join us tonight. They were all a part of this crew that made this whole thing get put back into shape and not as bad of an event as it could have been. So big shout out to those guys.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
Zach can kind of go through
Yeah,
and
thank you,
walk
everybody,
us through.
for coming
Yes, thank you.
and for all your work on that.
Okay, so, Wednesday, February 18th, somewhere around 7:15, we had a resident report the break, bubbling water from underneath the road. We don't have a picture of that. 7:45, Dakota, our interim distribution and collection manager, responded. Immediately noticed it was a fairly major break, right? Yeah, okay. Lots of water running down the road. Usually when water bubbles like that and runs down the road, it's pretty bad. 9:36 or so, I notified the city manager. From then to about 4 a.m. on Thursday, we started or continued isolation and investigation of the break. Continuing on Thursday, February 19th, contacted city services for line stops or insertive valves and the concrete cutters to come out and cut the road surface. That point, we had all water utility staff on site to assist. And we also were able to take care of the plants at the same time, thanks to the rest of the staff that wasn't just on site. We contacted city police for traffic assistance, and city manager has been receiving updates through the morning. 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., continuing isolation. We eventually isolated to the point where we lost pressure to the Swan neighborhood. That continued through Friday. The boil water advisory was placed Thursday morning. Milbocker and Sons came on site to assist and relieve staff. We did have some staff there for extended hours, longer than 24 hours. They were able to take breaks, but to my surprise and awe, none of them wanted to take breaks or leave. They all wanted to get there and make sure the work was done. So Thursday, 2:30 p.m. to 8, we had some road service removal beginning. City services showed up. The main was located, and we noticed multiple longitudinal breaks. You can kind of see in that picture there, the water coming out from the bottom of the pipe lengthwise. That is a very unconventional break. Those don't happen very often. The break was somewhere around 50 feet long, and that is a lot of water. I calculated about 125,000 gallons overnight, which is unbelievable for our system, that kind of loss from one break. So we made the decision to cut and cap the main live. This was due to the depth of the main. As you can see, it's only about 3 feet under the surface of the road. So we could not use line stops or insertive valves. They would have stuck up above the road surface, and that's just not something you can do. So 7 p.m., we had our first attempt to cut cap. When we were putting in the block wedges to secure the cap, we broke the line further down, which is it's a possibility when you have a main under pressure. That's cast iron. 8:45, we contacted MDOT to close M89 due to undercutting from the water flowing out of the break. We think the undercut was at least to the middle of the middle lane, which is not good. If that had been all asphalt, not asphalt with concrete, that road would have collapsed. 9:30, we're still working to locate the valves. We finally found the valve to isolate the whole system. So we got that isolated, pumped down the hole. 11:30, we decided to stop because we could not call the concrete cutters for another cut that late, and everyone needed a break. You can see how thick the road surface is there on the left picture. That is asphalt and concrete underneath. Roughly 18 inches in some spots. I'm not sure anybody stopped out there, and it's kind of hard to see in the picture, but the concrete cut saw that they brought out wasn't even big enough to cut fully through. There's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches at the bottom of the concrete where the saw curve couldn't reach. So longitudinal break again, it's a little bit up close picture, a little easier to see there. That's the full length of that 50-foot with a few exceptions. It's just pouring out. We got Brian there guiding the Vector suction hose so we can clear out the water, so we can try and cut that main and cap it. And on the right, you can see the water is full in the hole, and that water is spraying out. That's during the live main repair. The device was in place, and the water was kind of like shooting up over the main on the other side, because we had to cut a section out to get the caps in there, because you cap both ends and then wedge 4x4s in between to kind of keep them in place so they don't move and the cap doesn't come off. Yeah, you can see Milbocker and some of our guys down there in the hole. That's them trying to cap live and blind. The main is completely under the water. We could not keep up removing water. That's how much water was coming out of that main. Same thing on the right there. It's their second attempt to cap it, and we just couldn't get it. And this is Friday. That's the 8-inch main, the larger main. This was not broken. This was further up the line. Much easier to do, but this is when all of the area south of M89 Bridge and 2nd Street Bridge were isolated, shutting everyone's water off for a little while. So we cut and capped that. Thrust blocks were installed. Thrust blocks were, like I was saying, we have to have something on each end of the cap so the caps don't come off, because the megalugs can only do so much to hold that pressure in there. So we put 4x4s in between the two cut pieces of main, and then we pour concrete on top of that to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. 4 o'clock Friday, restoration begins. We start to slowly repressurize the system. We have hydrants open throughout the system so we don't shock and create more breaks. And then system flushing had affected the surrounding areas. So Saturday, partial boil water lifted. M89 asphalt holes started to be repaired. Traffic opened with the holes still open. Oh, that's okay, 21st through 26th, yeah. So the following Friday was when the road was completely open, and that's how you see it now. MDOT is going to come back, and at this point, they're gonna open from hole to hole and repave that with their required asphalt, because there's no asphalt plants on right now. They're not running because of the winter. So we just put recycled asphalt in there, and that doesn't meet their standards. So sometime in the spring or summer, they're gonna have to cut that out and replace it. That'll be probably down for another week. You can see our lessons learned. The Silversmith GPS locations for the valves, hydrants, mains, and other system assets require updating. And I'll kind of show you that here in a minute. You can also see, I brought binders of our old valve turning program and hydrant flushing program and work orders for the distribution system. For whatever reason, that was stopped in 2017, manpower or whatever, they decided to stop it. I'm not real sure. But we will be starting that program back up this summer. So isolation maps need to be created and the personnel trained on the maps. This should be kind of a primary concern of ours. Further training's needed on the system and its dynamic hydraulics. We have a really old system. As you saw in my report, I'm hoping 1871 was when they started laying pipe. Luckily, we don't have any wood pipe left, but the system itself kind of still mirrors that old system, just to a larger extent. So an emergency plan needs to be created and implemented. This is just simply like contacts who we need to contact in specifically the city when something like this happens, the schools, hospital, anyone else that we can come up with. And then I touched on that last point already. So, yep. Oh, the water age, yes, before we go to this. This is our water age map. This was created for us by Marsh. Leah is in the audience as well. The red is really old. It's mostly cast iron. Cast iron's life is, you hope to get 60 to 70 years out of it. So you're looking at the 1930s when that stuff was replaced. That was 25, 26 years ago that it is expired. And that 4-inch main that broke on Marshall Street was cast iron that was installed in the 40s. So it's at its max life. Yeah, right there with the red laser pointer. And you can see there are quite a few red lines left in our system. Yellow still, we're kind of getting there with age. And we have an asset management plan that we're working on with Leah and her team at Marsh to have these updated and replaced with newer material that has hopefully a longer life and will serve us better.
Yeah, some of these other, red sections that were up there are some of the utilities that we're gonna be addressing as part of the infrastructure projects this summer. The Rossman Park neighborhood, the downtown, Trowbridge, Chestnut, Walnut. So you'll see those get updated from red to green. And then the rest, like Zach said, we've got our projected plans for. But now Zach's in control of the screen, so unfortunately, you guys can't see it on your monitors in front of you, but if you can kind of do the old-fashioned turn and look at the screens like we used to do, he'll kind of walk us through his Silversmith program that he's got here.
Right, so this is our asset program, Silversmith. It's editable by us. We can add things like the main break that we have here. We can see information about it, what size the main was, any notes, if we use caps or plugs, or what type of break it was. It's handy for future use. One of the big things I want to point out on here is that not everything is accurate on this, and that's one of the problems that we had. So you can see this T right here. That's not the location of that T. That T is up here. So when you're trying to locate isolation points, when things are wrong like this, it really throws a wrench in things. Now, you'll also see there's a small leg right here that doesn't have the valve indicated that is actually on that leg. That wouldn't help us isolate it, but it's missing. We need to update that. Also, the location of the main, you can see it's kind of on the edge of the road in Silversmith, where in real life, it's about 4 feet this way. And this main here, is hard to see, is actually kind of under this side of the sidewalk. So this is the data that we're working with out in the field. We do have, for this specific area, some updated information that Dakota found digging through old files that has the updated and correct layout of this pipe. But that's the only place we have it, is a print off of a Google map. The other day, Dakota put this break on there using a GPS locator that we have to record valves and pipes and maintenance and such into Silversmith. Let's see, so that's where the break was. Now, the break went from around this location right into this area here. The T is an 8x8x8, so that 8-inch main continues to run for about the length of a stick of pipe, which is somewhere around 10 feet. And then it reduces down to 4-inch, so that's why we're able to cut that 8-inch. Around 2013 or 2014, distribution crew removed everyone off from that 4-inch. Most of these houses here were on that 4-inch main. That allowed us now to actually abandon the 4-inch main, and we no longer need it. This valve down here hadn't been closed. This was the supply, I guess it supplies from both ends. So this one was closed. Had we been doing our valve turning program, we would have noticed that. So that 4-inch main, as I said just a minute ago, has no customers on it. That means there's no water being used. And with the depth of the main at 3 feet, that's well within our frost line. So with no flow through there, that was just a block of ice. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Looking through old plans, 1990, they had actually planned to abandon the whole 8-inch and 4-inch outright. There is a T on the plan right here for a 12-inch main for future use. So part of the Rossman project we are hoping to get added on as a side project is to run a 12-inch main from, I'm sorry, that's Oak Court. It's running from Division down to Bridge here and tie in. So you can also see where we started isolating. We isolated from this end. We still had flow at this hydrant. We isolated further out, which shut off the water to the Swan neighborhood here. We had to come down to Swan where the main crosses over for Hooker Water Tower. That fully shut Swan off. We're isolated here and here, so that isolates it from the northwest and Hooker Water Tower here. Still had flow. We isolated in this direction at the same time. So isolation here did not shut it off. There's a valve on Oak Court that we closed that didn't shut off the flow to the main. We went further out. We isolated valves here to make sure we weren't coming back from Hooker Tank. We isolated valves in this area, still had flow. We isolated M89 Bridge, still had flow. We started coming out into this area to make sure that we could shut it off. At some point in time, we got to a point where we shut off water to the system, to the low pressure district. We noticed that just wasn't gonna cut it. We didn't want to shut the water off completely to everyone in the city, but I should say about 60 to 70% of the city. So we opened that back up. When we did that, that's when we had the boil water notice for the low pressure district. I'll go over the kind of the range of the low pressure district in a minute. We finally found this valve on Thursday. That's what shut everything off. It allowed us to isolate everything on this side of the city. So our low pressure district is all of Hooker Road, all of the river here, everything downtown, up 222 here, up to north, over, across, and everything on this side. That's the low-pressure district. The high-pressure district is everything from Hooker Road up Eastern and the Industrial Parkway, or Industrial Park, and everyone kind of north of Delacorte area between Main and River. Yeah. Any questions so far? I know I've.
So low pressure that was boil water.
Yeah, low
That's the
pressure
whole
was the only section that had boil water. We were able to keep Payroll online because that's a totally different system. They're completely isolated from each other.
Get your work cut out for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, luckily we have a great crew.
How long have we had that silversmith?
Oh, 2017, I think they started moving from ArcGIS to Silversmith.
I think it was when we surveyed the sewers and the water lines
Yeah, with the
with the grant money.
SAW grant, yeah.
The SAW grant. Yeah, the Second Street Bridge isolation valve had been turned back to being on a while ago because it caused pressure issues in the two districts. That's why we turned that one back on, if I remember, because we were gonna abandon that at one point.
Yep. And that, we have 2 river crossings that feed this whole side of the system. That water doesn't come from anywhere else over here. So if we lose one bridge crossing and we have to close the other one, we are closing that whole section of the city down again. So yeah, we needed to repair and replace that bridge crossing. We added a valve on this side as well to help with isolation. This was 3 years ago or so.
Other
So-
questions? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just gonna say, it's a lot of information. I know some of it was part of what Joel walked through at our last meeting, like I said. But Joel could have gone through this again, I could have gone through this tonight, but Zach is a wealth of information. That's why he is the new director of the Water Utilities Department. He and his crew are the best suited to talk about this. That's why we put Zach in front of the television camera during this emergency situation. Typically, Joel and I go out and do the PR stuff with our local news stations, but he's just best equipped to talk about this and speak the lingo and convey that in terms that we can all understand and follow along with the process too. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope there's an understanding from the public too that this was an atypical break, an atypical situation that this crew hasn't faced before. And I don't think we've had an issue like this in the city in many decades that we're aware of. So this was an impactful situation as well. One of the key things, I know Councilmember Walker kind of touched on it, but I want to make sure it's clear too. There's been some discourse, I guess I'll call it, as to the timeliness of the boil water notice that went out on Thursday, it would have been. That the boil water notice was a result of the loss of water pressure in, like Zach said, the low pressure district, not because of the water main break that happened the night before. There's a misconception, I guess, that there was too much time that passed by the time we got the alert out via our text message system, our social media campaigns, and on our website as well. But that was timely. It was within the half hour of the low water pressure, or the loss of water pressure, I'll call it. So.
And I think as soon as the city was aware of the emergency, I don't know what it's called, but like broadcast with text messages, immediately
Correct.
sent out.
Yep. Yep, and,
Yeah, boil water isn't needed until the pressure actually drops in the system. If you have a break, it doesn't require it until you get a pressure drop. That's why it wasn't till the immediate, because a lot of people think it's because it's broke. No, it's, you have to have a pressure drop so that microbes could come back in. If the pressure is all present, then microbes aren't coming back in. Now, the thing that I'd like to see as a follow-up is we see our lessons learned here. I'd like to see what sort of action plans we have on implementing those lessons learned coming from city staff and city manager in the future. Personally, that's what I would want to see. I don't know about the rest of the council.
Oh, yeah.
Just to say, hey, we now have these lessons learned. What's our action plan going forward? How are we implementing these? What are we doing to implement them? Does it need money? Does it just need time? Type things.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Any other questions? Seeing none? All right, thanks, Zach. I don't think you have anything else, do you, coming up?
I just wanted to say thanks to all the community that stepped up and helped. I know Councilmember Westover helped out with his business, giving boiled water and water to the community. And it's really proud to see just the community step up and show that you're actually a community. And it's wonderful. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next agenda item is 11E1, and it is a request to approve accounts payable and payroll, and Mayor Pro Tem Hance.
It's requested that the city council approve accounts payable in the amount of $1,189,416.48 and payroll in the amount of $130,190.38 for a total disbursement of $1,319,606.86. Motion to approve?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 11E2 is a request to adopt Resolution 26.09, authorizing issuance of 2026 sanitary sewer system first lien revenue bonds.
yes, so as part of the upcoming infrastructure projects, that's the Rossman Neighborhood Infrastructure Project and the Phase 2 of the Downtown Infrastructure Project that are happening this year, the city needs to go out for bonds. This bond amount for the sanitary sewer system is an amount not to exceed 7.6 million and some change. If this request looked familiar to you when you first saw this in your agenda, you were correct. You guys saw this back in October and approved it then. Why this is in front of you again? Since that time, we got updated bond ratings from Standard & Poor's, and we came back with a triple B for our water system and a triple B plus for our sewer system, which is lower than we had hoped for. With that new rating, we kind of have to pivot, or as it's being suggested to us by our bond counsel, to switch from a competitive bond amount to a negotiated bond. This allows us to do a couple of things, allows us to be a little bit more competitive in the bonding process, and gives us a chance to kind of shop around a little bit better. The reason we came back with a lower rating than we anticipated was namely due to the fact that we rely quite heavily on Payroll as a singular customer of ours, which causes some hesitancy when folks are trying to give out bonds to communities, when they just see one large singular company that a community might rely on. So again, by switching to a negotiated bond process, we can kind of have those discussions and talk about the longevity of Payroll as a company, and then also talk about just what we're planning with our rate adjustments, how both of these projects have come in lower than the engineer's estimate, so we won't be spending as much as initially planned, and just gives us a little bit more wiggle room. So kind of bleeding into the next one too, but that's the same reasoning behind 11E3 as well.
All right. Is there any questions for staff?
Yes, Mayor, I have a few here. Our bond council, who is our bond council and our municipal advisor?
It should have been included in your packet. Typically, that's Joel Dye and Tracy Stahl that are working with the bond council. I'll be honest, I have very little communications with them.
Well, I know
myself.
they came here, well, at least I
Yeah,
think it was the bond council.
correct. I know you've been introduced before. I'll find it in this packet here for you.
Well,
then-
and that's okay.
Yeah, but go ahead,
we do
your next
have-
question.
We do have a bond council and municipal advisor, or that, well, I guess it doesn't matter.
They are one and the
Question
same.
is- They're all in the same.
Yep.
Question is, farther down, give our city manager all the authority, which, why wouldn't that be our bond council?
Because the community needs to be able to sign off on the agreements, not the bond council. Here we go. MCFI and Roger Sweats from Dickinson Wright. I got Tracy on the line.
Are you good for this one?
Well, that leads into the resolution. We've got to amend the resolution.
That's correct. Yeah, everything is basically the same as what you saw in October and approved, just with that, amendment from a competitive bond to a negotiated bond.
Okay, so the sections that we're amending, we approved the other in October, the original.
Correct. Yep. This is just a pivot now that we've gotten the new bond ratings.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Then lastly, I don't understand, maybe there's a good reason, but, so $7,680,000. But then we go back to, our bond is, what, not to exceed $10,040,000. Same with the water. That's the sewer then. Same issue with the water, but I'm just wondering why the difference.
The water bond is an amount not to exceed 2.37 million.
But then it stated that it's not, later on, it's not to exceed 7 million. So,
So the water is, am I reading it incorrectly?
No, he's referring down into section 15, the par amount of the Series 2026 bonds for both of the updated resolutions. So second page of them,
It's at the bottom of the second page.
bottom, yeah, section 15, A and B talks about the par amount.
Yep, okay, I see now. Yeah, that Councilmember Walker, I'm not sure on that difference there. Why that has that listed. Because as far as I know, this is the same agreement from October, other than that change in the negotiated bond.
I guess that's, if we're supposed to approve the changes, I guess I'd rather we wait and get some answers, get a couple answers.
Well, I think the difference is the par value is the value at the end of the repayment. That's how much you'd have to, much we're paying back over the time. So
Okay.
where you have the face value, which is what we're borrowing, the par amount would be with the interest.
Okay, the problem is the water is 33% of the par value, but the sewer, the larger one, is,
Yeah, that 10,040,000 that we're seeing, that's the combined two. So it's the 7.68 million from the sanitary sewer, and then the 2 whatever million from the water for the total.
but it really shouldn't be in
10.
there, right? For the first one? Or it should?
It should be, yes.
Should be combined?
Correct,
Okay.
yep. That's the total bond that we're going out for. It's just separated in between the sanitary and then the water, yep.
Okay. Then what happens with the water one? I don't understand. Why it jumps up to 7 million?
I see what you're saying, because that second report has the 7.27.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first one reads the total 10. If council's comfortable with it, because that 10 million, that's the amount that we will not be borrowing no matter what. We can approve that with the condition that, you know, gets amended to be the accurate 2 point and some change. But that's the total amount that we won't exceed. I don't know why the second one has only the water portion of it.
Okay. I don't know how we'd state that. Any suggestions?
Well, for 11E2, we're just looking at the sanitary sewers.
Yeah,
So
talk
that
about that
one
one first.
is fine as written. It's the second one that it's combined.
The first one is the one that's
First,
showing
okay, I'm like,
combined.
which one
Yeah,
is which?
Yep.
Because we're kind of jumping
Yeah,
around
I'm seeing the
here.
total 10 on that
So
first
for
agreement.
the 11E2 that we're reviewing right now, we could get a motion to adopt Resolution 26.09 with the amendment,
I would say
the,
contingent
on
on,
the amendment to,
yeah, you're right, it is the amendment first from. Trying to think of how best to word this.
Is it critical that we do it today?
It is. It just, I mean, we've got to get these projects started, and we've got Leah from Avon and we'll kind of talk about our timeline for the Rossman project too, and why we're doing that a little bit differently than we did the downtown project, because as we saw today, it's beautiful weather out. It's construction season. It's probably gonna snow again, let's be honest. But we want to get moving on these things, so we can't delay these projects. So if we can adopt this resolution, let's just say, you know, Mayor Payroll, you wanted to go something with an amendment to the, you know, not to exceed amount
yes,
being edited?
yes.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's the first one.
That's the
Correct.
first one.
Yep, and then that second one, we won't have to
To
have any
have
sort
an
of
amendment, it is okay.
as it is. Yep.
All right. So an amendment not to exceed, I'm like,
Tell me, 10,040,000, is that,
yes. Correct?
that's the combined?
That's the combined total.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to do the,
No, but I will. What's that?
Doesn't need an amendment, because it already shows the 10,040,000.
we want it to say not to exceed,
The
Wait.
7,680,000, correct. That's just for,
the
The sanitary sewer,
sanitary.
I got
Yep,
it.
yep,
I got you.
yep.
yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, so,
So we're making a motion to amend the request to approve Resolution 2609 contingent on the change in the dollar amount,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed
7,680,000.
$7,680,000.
Is that your,
That is my motion.
Okay.
To
all right.
in support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any other comments, questions from council? Seeing none.
We got there.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Now, moving to,
So now don't we have to now approve the amendment? Because right? Because, so we just amended it, or did we approve it? I know that there's like a two-step process when we
Yeah.
amend something, right?
The motion that I heard was an amendment.
Okay.
amendment, and
Yes.
now we need to approve adopting the amended resolution to 6.09.
Bingo.
All right. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. 11E3 is a request to adopt Resolution 26.10, authorizing issuance of 2026 water supply system first lien revenue bonds. And this one is good as is.
Correct, same story, but yeah, sorry about the discrepancy on that last one and the confusion it caused, but yeah, this one reads correctly. So we can approve this one as is, if that is the will of the council.
All right.
Sure, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 26.10. Yes.
All right.
Support.
Got a support down here. Any further questions, comments from council? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we only got 3 more to go for this project. Request to approve PO 0848 to Milbocker and Sons in the amount of $2,705,711.14 for the downtown utility and roadway reconstruction project, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the agreement.
It's technically 3 more for 2 more projects,
Yes,
not just
yeah.
one. But yes, so this particular project is the downtown infrastructure project. You see on the screen that section of Trowbridge Street, and then the portion of Walnut between the Methodist Church and the Episcopal Church, and Chestnut between City Hall and Huntington Bank. That's the full scope. The city received 1 bid for this project from Milbocker and Sons Incorporated. They were the contractor on phase 1 of this project as well. And the council approved the notice of award at your last meeting. We are here now to award the project and allow the mayor and clerk to sign that agreement.
Any questions for staff?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
One real quick. Engineering costs, said Milbocker was 500,000 less at the final engineering, but 834,000 less at the original engineering. So the engineering cost went up 300,000. Is that what that's?
This is why I've asked our friend Leah from Avonmarsh to come. She will be able to answer these questions a lot better than I can.
What's your question?
Just wondering what happened. It's stated that there were 2 engineering costs. The final, looks like the engineering cost went up almost 300,000 because there was a bigger gap with the old engineering cost. So,
When you say engineering cost, do you mean the construction cost estimate?
engineering estimate. So I guess, is that the construction cost estimate?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess in general, I gave the city of Allegan a preliminary construction estimate, a 30%, a 60%, a 90%, and then there's the as-bid results. So there's probably 4 or 5 construction estimates floating around based on our phases of design. Our final 100% cost estimate ended up being $500,000 more than what Milbocker's bid came in at. So that's just because we had all the information we had. We thought we'd come in at that number, and then they surprised us pleasantly, being below the estimate, so.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, you don't know off the top of your head why it jumped up 300,000? Or,
Just different, I guess, when you go from 30 to 60% and you have different assumptions and you have different design parameters, costs can change, things can get added, things can get subtracted. But if you would like to know, I can look into it further, but I don't know specifically
okay,
the $300,000 discrepancy, but
okay,
yeah,
all right.
sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
You should just know that I love to change stuff when it comes to this downtown project. And I know the folks at Avonmarsh love it.
I wasn't
And
gonna
so-
blame them.
But between us at City Hall, I think we can get creative on things. And like Leah said, from the 30 to 60% design phase, and then from 30 to 90, I mean, lots of things were changing. We had public open houses as well, where people were coming in and talking about different things, and lots of things changed in the plan during that time, so.
Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve PO 26-0848?
Motion to approve PO 260848.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other comments by council? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 11E5 is a request to authorize the city manager to sign the approval of the notice of award to Milbocker and Sons for the Rossman Park Neighborhood Utility and Roadway Reconstruction Project.
Yes, so this is the second infrastructure project this year that we've been talking about. And this is the notice of award to, again, Milbocker and Sons. They were one of 3 bidders on this project, and they came in $1.2 million less than the estimate. So this is what you approved, similar to what you approved last meeting for the downtown project.
All right, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
Thank you.
Support.
So moved and supported. Any other comments from council? No? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Last one, 11E6 is a request to approve PO 26-0849 to Milbocker and Sons in the amount of $5,767,132.15 for the Rossman Park Neighborhood Utility and Roadway Reconstruction Project, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the agreement contingent on the release of CDBG funds.
Yes, so once again, this is the equivalent to what we just went through with the downtown project. We just had the PO ready to rock and roll and didn't want to wait until the next meeting like we did. We split up the downtown approvals between 2 meetings, but we had everything ready to go. So here you are, 1-2 punch.
All right. Can I get,
Yes. Please.
I'd like to modify the 11E6. We did not include the 10% contingency in the 5.7 number. So MEDC requires the council to approve the bid amount you're awarding plus 10%. Not to say we're gonna go 10% over, but that contingency is required. So I actually would need a amount of $6,343,845.37 approved. So that's your ceiling. It doesn't mean we're gonna go 10% over, but that just gives authorization when we do have some change orders in the field, so just an
Okay.
MEDC requirement, so I apologize for not catching that.
Okay.
With Tracy and Joel being out of the office, and yeah, it's just been,
can I just confirm that?
Yes,
It's
the number.
$6,348,845.38?
it's $6,343,845.37.
37 cents. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Perigo.
Anyone have any further questions for staff?
I have a question about the contingency. Like, so what if we don't get the release of those funds, then what happens?
The CDBG funds specifically. Leah, do you have info on that? It's contingent on the release of the CDBG funds. I think Councilmember Hooker's question was, what if we don't get those funds?
We don't get the grant agreement?
Yeah, this was added, so we
Oh.
didn't see anything like
Yeah.
contingent on
mean-
the release. What does that mean?
MEDC made us put it in that language. They're just saying, you need to have your grant agreement executed before you guys start any business or start any construction. So it's just one of their requirements. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Need an amendment to
Yeah, yep.
adjust the PO?
Yes, so could I get an amendment, please?
I'll ask for an amendment to adjust the PO to increase the amount by 576,701, well, increase it by 10% to a total of $6,343,845.37
Thank you,
for the 10% contingent.
thank you. Can I get a support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Now, can I get a motion to approve the amended PO 26-0849?
Motion to approve the amended PO 26-0849.
Thank you.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any other comments? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, 11E7 is a request to issue an intent to enter a development agreement with ND Community Partners LLC for city-owned parcel 51-280-018-00.
Yes, so you can see that parcel up on the screen. Last year, the council directed city staff to start inventorying our city-owned parcels that were not being utilized by government needs. And we contracted with city council's approval, Weichert Realtors of Allegan, to list these properties for sale. Last week, we had an interested party reach out about this particular parcel you see on the screen. It's a very unique triangular parcel sandwiched in between North Main, or A37, and North Street. And what you see on the right is their possible development scenario of what might be called a tiny home development and a detached garage there. Fits neatly within the neighborhood. The residential side faces North Main there, fits right along with the rest of the neighborhood. What we are doing tonight is hopefully issuing an intent to enter a development agreement with this company, just to kind of signal to them, hey, we're interested, we're willing to dance, and they can start to move forward with the necessary steps. So this is just kind of that first step.
Yeah, is there any questions for staff?
I see they want a 12-month for zoning due diligence.
Correct.
Seems a little long. I was just looking through it real quick. I'm just like, 12
Sure.
months seems a long time for them to figure out if they can get
Yeah.
the zoning they want.
My guess is, might just be a little bit of buffer room. I would be surprised if it takes 12 months, but room to breathe, contingency like we were talking about.
Any other comments, questions for staff?
I just have one. How does tiny homes work into the master plan?
Sure. Were you gonna ask the same?
No, I was just gonna say, sitting on planning commission along with councilperson Westover, the planning commission has very much been interested in tiny homes and wanting to talk with developers, so it's a desire. I don't know, Patrick, if you,
Yeah, I mean, there's a housing shortage in Michigan, the country, so it's taking steps to do what we can to make things work and fit in,
Yes.
big or
and-
small.
Perfect. Thank you both. And I just got a nod from the audience that ND Community Partners is here. So if there are any questions for the interested party, he may be able to answer those.
yeah, come on up.
I'm so sorry. I just
No.
wanted to say, Devin Shea, thank you so much for your time. I don't know that I even call it tiny home. Right now, we're actually looking at about 1,080 square feet.
Okay.
So I wouldn't put that necessarily in the tiny
Yeah.
home. But I don't want to say, we haven't, this is not a fleshed out plan. I just wanted to say that tiny home is definitely not what we're kind of looking at, although I love them, but just
Yeah.
this particular is not, so.
I'm just excited somebody is interested in looking at, this is an odd, little lot, so that's exciting.
And that's our specialty,
Oh,
the
great.
weird ones. We like those,
Yeah.
so.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Devin.
Any other questions, comments? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to issue an intent to enter a development agreement with ND Community Partners?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any other comments? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving down to agenda item number 3. This is your second public comment period of the evening. If there is anyone in the audience who did not get a chance the first time around and would like to speak, please approach the podium and state your name and address. All right, I do not see any public comments, so I'll move down to agenda item number 14. Communications from the city manager. Parker, is there anything tonight?
I've got a few things. First thing I wanted to mention is the Art of Allegan event. That's a fundraiser benefit for the Griswold Auditorium, taking place on Saturday, March 14th. It is an all-day affair. There's plenty to do, classes to sign up for, art projects to be a part of, a silent auction, screening of the movie Loving Vincent, and then some of our stores downtown are partnering with the event as well and hosting classes. So lots to do. Hopefully we see you down there. And then also there is a public pre-construction meeting scheduled for Thursday, March 19th in this room from 6 to 8 p.m. regarding the downtown improvement project, Phase 2. In the past, we've done open house sessions. This will be like structured meeting, so it starts at 6, and they'll go through a presentation and then have the opportunity for Q&A at the end. So, and then the Allegan Community Players are hosting their original show, Heroes and Scoundrels, at the Griswold Auditorium. That's March 19th through the 22nd. They've got some evening shows and then some matinee options. Check out their website. They've got tickets and stuff on sale there, but it's, like I said, an original production written by a Allegan resident, starring Allegan talent. So if you can make it to that, show some support for the community players that call the Griswold home. And then if any of you came from that side of town, you might have noticed that the Iron Bridge was closed this evening to vehicular traffic. The AAHS Drama Department has a musical coming up, and it's a musical called Working. So it's kind of adaptable to communities that are hosting the musical, so it's all kind of Allegan-centric. And they were filming some footage that's going to be incorporated into the production with use of the bridge. So it was just a temporary closure while they shot some of that stuff, and then they'll be incorporating it into their musical coming up. That's all.
Thank you. All right. Moving down to agenda item 15, roundtable discussion from council and mayor. Councilperson Canales?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the water guys out there for putting in all those long hours and getting things taken care of. Thanks a lot.
Councilperson Hooker?
I want to echo that. You all did an amazing job, so thank you so much for your hard work.
Councilperson Clark?
I also want to echo that because anytime we get to actually personally thank you when we don't get to see you in the field, that's great. So thank you guys. Secondly, if you do go to Heroes and Allegans, I'm on the cast, so I wanted to get everybody to say, come out and visit Griswold Auditorium. It's the third weekend, and come see what we do.
Councilperson Westover?
Yes, I can do that as well. Thank you, Water Department. You guys did a fantastic job, and the water's great.
Councilperson Walker?
Yep, also thank you. And Melanie and I on Friday the 20th, right? At what time, 5? 4:35?
7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah.
at Mug Shots. So we're trying to go really
What
early,
time?
like
7:30.
7:30, yeah. I think we're going to have it on the website to remind y'all, but if you ever have questions, every month we are available.
Yes.
We alternate mornings, evenings, days of the week to try to make sure everybody's available. But if you want to come talk to us, ask us questions, please do. So yeah, Friday,
Yeah, please come
March
out. Melanie
20th.
buys.
Yeah. I what? I buy? I'll buy you a coffee, yeah. But yes, March 20th, 7:30 a.m. to approximately 9 a.m. at Mug Shots this month.
And Mayor Pro Tem Hance.
Yep, just want to thank the water department and everybody for their hard work and when the water main broke, as well as their hard work in doing the after report and review to present to us so that we could have a good understanding of what took place, what some of our after plans are, so that then we can make sure we can always do better on the next go around.
And I just want to echo the same thing and seeing all of you come out tonight. I know you guys care and you're doing the right thing for the residents, and that means a lot. And you guys are doing a great job. Can't say enough. My words cannot project how much I appreciate you. Also, I was going to say Art of Allegan, we do have prints as well of the Van Gogh's Starry Night, is it Van Gogh? Yes. Van Gogh's Starry Night, but it's Starry Night Allegan themed. And also was gonna say, I'm going to join, Councilperson Hooker and Walker on the 20th this time. So if you want to hate on me, I will be there this time around. So, and at 7:25, I will adjourn. Thank you.